Okay, well, let's get this going. It's prompt noon. I'm trying to be prompt with you. I am going to spend the next 45 minutes with you. I do tend to go a little long, around 2 or 3 minutes, so bear with me, but we're recording this, and we'll let you know where to find the recording. It should be up early next week at the very latest. I hope you can hear me. Yes, you can hear me. Yes, yay, good, good, good. So just so you know, a little housekeeping. We're going to go through the agenda in a moment. I like this to be more informal. So if you're looking for something very formal, this isn't quite it. I want to make sure that you get the most out of this 45 minutes. So we are going to do a poll, and I will be focusing on those things that you want to get from this. So we'll talk a little bit about that in a moment. Also, you will be getting these slides with an email from me, probably within the hour after this event, just so that you can go through it, and we'll also be sending you links to more specific information, but also know that if you want to schedule some time with me over the phone, just to get to some more specific questions, that's fine. We could do that as well. You'll get my email. They're in the slides, and I could send it in the chat as well. And I do like to hear from you. So throughout the webinar, chat us up. I'm going to do my best to chat you up, but you probably see Elisette. She's my right hand. I'm going to introduce her more formally in a moment. She will be managing the chat and the Q&A box. So keep it coming. Let's enjoy the next 45 minutes together, and looking forward to it. So welcome. Just to remind you, you're at the October 2021 PIHRA member orientation, and this is what we're going to do today. We're in the welcome portion, and I'm going to give you a general update as to what we have going on. Given the pandemic, a lot has changed for us, but we are hopeful things are going to go back to, a little bit of a different model, but similar. We're going to do a poll, as I promised. We want to make sure that you walk away with the information about PIHRA and what we offer that you need to get the most out of your membership. So we'll be doing that. I'll introduce you to my team. Elisette is here. You see her. She is my right hand, so I'll let her talk when we get there. I'll give you a PIHRA overview. Again, given the poll and what I hear from you, I may go through some things pretty quickly and then focus on other things that are more of interest. So we'll then go through member benefits, some of the learning and networking opportunities we have through PIHRA, and just wrap up. And with that, I'm going to continue with the general update. So back in March 2020, we had our last in-person meeting. I know that one of the last ones we did was a PIHRA Real HR event in Riverside. We have a chapter in Riverside County, and after that, we didn't meet. We went on shutdown. All of you probably in the HR field and those who are our natural partners did something similar. But what happened was we went virtual. So our conferences went virtual. Our networking went virtual. Our webinars, we had more webinars than ever. So I'm really excited to let you know that if you are uncomfortable going out in person, we are continuing our virtual conferences. We have one coming up on October 28th, which I'll tell you about in a bit. And that is going to be hybrid. So we are looking at a hybrid model. Our conference, if you guys haven't been to our conference before, it is awesome. It's coming up in May of 2022 in Riverside. And with all of our webinars and all of our conference content, we're really focused on 11 content content areas for your education. That can come from HR strategy and leadership to talent management and acquisition to something that we're really well known for, California employment law. So there's more in there, but just know that that's what we're focused on these 11 content track areas. We're opening gradually. I'm going to show you kind of later on in the presentation. Some of our chapters are already doing socials. We're really doing our best to follow the guidelines from the CDC, from the World Health Association, our local restrictions. So just I think last month, at the end of last month, our PIHRA South OC had a great event. I think it was like 60 people there. And we use name tags with a color-coded system just so that everyone felt comfortable. So some people may want to hug. Some people may want to elbow bump. And some people are still social distancing. So we have that set up for you because we know that Zoom's not always the best, but I think it's better than nothing. So as we go forward, we will be using these guidelines and respecting everybody's space. So please keep visiting the PIHRA calendar because you'll see that we have a lot of professional development going on right now and networking for you as well, because it is important to stay connected. All right. So Elisa, will you help me launch the poll for today? Again, we want to know, what do you want to know? Do you want to know about our networking opportunities, about our chapters, the monthly meetings, what's going on with that, our PIHRA seminars and conferences, our benefits, like, for example, the PIHRA workplace through its mineral now. It used to be Think HR. HR certification is one of my favorites. I just got certified. And volunteering, which I want to encourage you to. What is the relationship between PIHRA and SHRM or anything else? So we have 19 of us. So right around half, a little bit more than half have participated. Yay. All right, let's see. What are the big ones here? Networking, benefits, HR. Big one is benefits. So I'll spend a lot of time on that. And there's others. So if there's something else that you want to know, just let me and Elisette know. We'll try to cover that. I will be covering all these things. I think we could end the poll now. We've been there for a minute. And yeah. So a lot of you want to know about the benefits, Think HR, what does that look like? We could talk a lot about that. So I'm going to talk a lot about that. And then networking opportunities, I always talk a lot about that. And ooh, a lot of HR certification. Okay, so let's stop sharing and let's move through the first part of this so we can get to the benefits and the programs. All right, Elisette?
Yeah, that sounds good. We do have a comment on the chat box from Brenda. She's looking for information on education and learning how she can educate herself and become a better HR professional. All
right. Well, I think you've gotten to the right place, Brenda. Welcome, welcome. So let me introduce myself. You know my name. It's on my Zoom tile here. Everyone calls me Lily. I'm delighted to be here. I love working with PIHRA. Just a little background. I have an organizational development background. So in consulting, I was an internal. And, you know, that's a really busy life. As you know, HR is really busy. So I decided I wanted to go internal to consulting, and that didn't seem to be panning out for me. So I ended up in the nonprofit field. And most recently, I was at the Girl Scouts of Greater LA. And I was recruited by my fearless leader, and who you'll meet in a second. And it was a great marriage between what I was doing at the Girl Scouts, which was really membership building, partnership building, and my organizational development background. So being with PIHRA has been awesome. I love my team. I love the organization. And it's my passion to help individuals excel in their career. I promised you you'd meet Elisette, so give me a second because I'm going to give her the I'm going to give this over to her, but I also want you to meet Matt Pallets. Matthew is a volunteer leader. We are primarily run by volunteers, and he's awesome. I love working with him. He's my liaison with the board and oversees the entire membership function from a volunteer perspective. So if you want to reach him, this is our contact information. I'm really good with email. It's my promise to you that I will get back to you within 24 hours, or Elisette will. So, and with that, Elisette, unmute yourself and tell everybody about yourself.
Thanks, Lily. Yes, thank you all so much, first of all, for joining us. Lily and I are happy to have you. I'm Elisette Tapia, and I'm the membership coordinator. My picture's on the right of the slide. I'm usually the first person that you get to speak to if you call the main number. So you may have already spoken to me. I think I see some familiar names on here. So I'm happy that you joined us. And besides that, I've been with PIHRA for about 6 years now, I think. Every time I think about it, I'm like, wow, it hasn't really been that long. But it's been great. Like Lily mentioned, we're a very dedicated team. We love serving you. So feel free to reach out to us. We're very accessible. If you have any questions after the webinar, we're going to be here to help. And so feel free to give us a call or email us. So for the rest of the time, I'm going to be monitoring the chat box and the Q&A box, and I'll pause Lily so that we can answer your questions. So thanks for joining us.
Yes, Elisette's my right hand. She's wonderful, and she will stop me because I do tend to go on and on for a second. So, all right, well, let's get into the overview. This is our mission. We exist to help California HR professionals get the programming education they need, the professional development, tied into that, and the networking that they need to continue to be viable in their organization or as a consultant or whatever, which way. And so everything I'm talking about today is going to be around that. Again, some of you asked about networking. We do have some Zoom networking that's going on. I will tell you about some in-person networking that we have going on. But I, again, want to encourage you, if you really want to gain visibility within the HR community in Greater Los Angeles, volunteer. That was the greatest advice I got in my career. And so I want to pass it on to you. And this is a real low risk opportunity for you to volunteer. And the reason I say that is because it's great for you to shake hands and get to know people, but you want people to get to know you. And so when a great HR opportunity comes up or a great leadership opportunity comes up, I want people to think of you for that. And when you volunteer, they see your work ethic, they see the quality of your work, they see your planning skills and your time management skills, and that's what people are looking for out in the workplace. And it shouldn't be a secret to you that 75 to 80% of the people that find their job, they find it through their network. So I encourage you to volunteer, and we'll talk a little bit about that. So key players at PIHRA, Tara Fournier, SPHR, Sherm SCP. She's the president of the board. She's also the vice president of human resources at Vizio. She's great to work with. I'm so excited that we're under her leadership. And she's getting married next week. So she's been a little busy, but always accessible at the conference. She probably won't be there next week at our California Employment Law update, but if you want to reach out to her, I could pass that information on to you, but she's great. It's just this end of the year is going to be difficult to reach her because she's getting married. Raphael Rivera is my fearless leader. I report to him, and Elisette's fearless leader. He's been with PIHRA, gosh, I think it's 11 years now. We've both been, I've been 7 years, Elisette, so it doesn't seem that long. But I really credit Raphael for bringing together a great team at PIHRA, including me, and also for his wonderful work rebranding PIHRA, rebranding our conference, which used to be the PIHRA annual conference. Now it's a California HR conference, and also rebranding our legal update. which we're doing this month, right after the legislative session, and it's called the California Employment Law Update now. So he's great. I love working with him. If you want to reach out to him and tell him how wonderful this experience was, go for it. I'm sure he'd love to hear from you. And he's a great leader. Here's some demographics. I know it's a little small, but just really quickly, we have over 4,300 members right now. We kind of took a dip during the pandemic, but we're on the rise again. You see our members by HR level, the majority, so not the majority, but a lot of them are at the human resource business partner, manager, generalist level. Right around 42% of our membership, and then 26% of our membership are at the HR director and above level. Right around, where were we? 5% to 10%. It kind of varies depending on the year. Of our membership are what I call service providers. And so I don't want you to be scared of them. Those are those folks who are natural partners to HR, your insurance brokers, your staffing folks, your 401k folks, wellness, corporate wellness partners. So, and they're great connectors as well. And if you're interested in that, I could talk a little bit more about that. 37, a lot of people are interested in HR certification. 37% of our members are HR certified. We offer HR prep courses. We are not the certification agency, and we could talk a little bit more about that. If you're interested in being certified, Elisette's going to put in a URL, PIHRA.org/HR certification. And that's where you can find out about the prep courses that we offer. There's also some webinars. They're a little dated now, but from HRCI and SHRM, talking about the benefits of certification. And I'm going to get through this quickly so I can talk more later. I just got certified. I passed the SHRM SCP exam, and it was a great process and experience for me. It really gave me some self-esteem and kind of confirmed my knowledge with HR strategy. And I got a raise. I think we both got a raise after that one, Elisa. And so I highly encourage it. Was it easy? No. And if you have more questions about that, I can get into that, but I'm going to keep moving. Where are we? Where is PIHRA? What is PIHRA? So I already talked about, we're here to help you receive the professional development and the networking you need to either become an HR professional or maintain the mastery over HR, because things are changing so rapidly, especially with respect to laws and approaches. We also have 17 chapters. We are the largest SHRM affiliate, I believe, in the world, but I know because of the reports that we're the largest SHRM affiliate in the country, so in the United States. And so we are staff, we're not volunteers. So we have over 250 volunteers managing our 17 chapters. We go as far north as Antelope Valley, Santa Clarita, Ventura County, as far east as Coachella Valley. When they do meet, because we haven't been meeting because of the pandemic, they meet out of Desert Hot Springs. We go as far south as Temecula Valley. They meet out of, I think, Temecula when they do meet, and South OC, which is our largest chapter, and they meet out of Irvine. I think they used to meet at the Radisson near the John Wayne Airport. Now, they're our largest chapter. At one point, they had over 700 members. So they have huge in-person events. Even just coming out of the pandemic, they had 60 people at a networking event in Irvine. So if you want to meet a lot of people all at once, when they start meeting during on a monthly basis or maybe every other month, you can expect to meet between 60 and 100 folks, either HR professionals or the service providers I was talking about. Any questions, Elisa, that I could pause for?
Yeah, I just answered Savannah's question in the chat. She asked if they can attend / join more than one chapter.
Yes. So what happens, and I'm sure Elisa put it in the chat, but you will select your preferred chapter, but you can attend any of the chapter meetings at the member rate. So if you just show up to the monthly meeting or their meeting, they may not recognize you as a member because they have their own roster. But if you register in advance online, our system will recognize you, so you'll get the member rate that way. Under normal circumstances, which these are not, but our chapters would meet monthly. So, and each meeting is, there's a meal component, a networking component, and a professional development component. So there is an additional price to attend the monthly meetings, particularly if they are in person. And if you're certified, you would get recertification for that. Again, if you go to the South OC, you can meet up to 100 people. If you go to our second largest chapter, which is downtown Los Angeles, PIHRA Los Angeles, it's a little smaller. I think it's because of the parking issue downtown. Our PIHRA North OC is our third largest chapter. You could probably meet between 40 to 70 people at their meetings. Again, they're not meeting monthly right now, but I do anticipate in 2022 them meeting at least once every other month or once a quarter, depending on their size and the attraction for people.
Yeah, that was also another question from Savannah, if we know when the chapters will host in-person meetings.
So I know that by the end of this year, some will, and they're trying to do it hybrid. So for example, PIHRA Santa Clarita has invited a UCLA economist to do a session there, but we do not have a set schedule because we're all trying to figure this out together. And also a lot of our HR professionals have been highly impacted by COVID at work. So we're really trying to work with our volunteers to phase back into in-person meetings gradually. Again, I expect that in 2022, we will go to a more regular cadence with respect to monthly meetings, but all the chapters will be a little different because they are a little different. They all have different boards, so they're quite autonomous with respect to how they manage their professional development and how they manage themselves. And they all have a different culture. So I encourage you to attend their chapter Zoom meetings or their chapter webinars to get to know them a little better now. And I heard someone from Nebraska, we're totally virtual. So please attend all the virtual events that you can. Hannah, you're more than welcome. Because you're in Nebraska and you're not local, your renewal costs will be a little bit less because you don't have that in-person connection as our regular Greater Los Angeles members do. So, but there are plenty of virtual opportunities, virtual conferences and things of that sort. And those are huge benefits. So I know a lot of you had questions about that, but I'm going to keep streaming through here because I want to get to the benefits piece. PIHRA Foundation. So on top of our 17 chapters, we have 4 communities. Let me go back for a second. And you'll see them here. They're kind of small. So PIHRA Foundation, I'm going to talk to you about it in a second. The PIHRA Club PIHRA group. We have PIHRA Emerging Leaders. And we also have PIHRA San Diego County. That is just been formed. We have a substantial amount of members in North San Diego that go to our conferences. So they're not meeting as much or have as structured of a community as our chapters, but they do exist. So now let's talk about the PIHRA Foundation. They're a separate entity and they exist for raising money to provide scholarships for HR professionals who want to get their certification or just get in their HR degree. So I'm gonna pause here for a second and get some water. So you can read this slide. They are offering scholarships right now. The deadline is November 13th. So if you or anyone you know are interested in getting certified and want to apply for the scholarships, please visit PIHRA.org/foundation. This is very important. They also, under normal circumstances, they do some volunteer work in the community. They authored 2 booklets. One I know is You and Your First Job. So they'll go to high schools or local colleges and do mock interviews for folks who are looking to get their first job. So it's a great group. Club PIHRA, this is a fun side of PIHRA, of HR. They exist for those HR professionals who are focused on employee recognition events and things of that sort. They haven't been meeting very much right now, but they do have great events. In 2022, hopefully they'll start meeting, but they'll meet at venues like Magic Mountain or the Pomona Fairgrounds or the House of Blues. So they're a lot of fun. Any questions so far, or?
Yeah, I'm just following up on Hannah's question. She asked about since she's an at-large member, is she able to select a local chapter? I explained that you don't really have the option to select a local chapter, but you can attend all of the chapter meetings on the calendar.
Right. And so, Hannah, that's a really good question. Right now, we are not sending chapter-specific emails. So you're getting notified about all the things that are happening because they're virtual. But why don't you email me and Elisette afterwards? Because if there's a certain chapter that you do want to connect with, in particular, we can help make that happen. But right now, because of the pandemic, we're just sending digest emails to everybody about everything that's going on because we're totally virtual. So good question. And finally, I want to focus on emerging leaders. I'm really proud of this group. They also have their own board. So if you're interested in volunteerism, I'm sure they'd love your help. And they've been doing a lot of virtual events as well. Well, not a lot, not as many as our other chapters. But for example, they had one on mental health in the workplace, talking about boundaries in the workplace. It was excellent. So feel free to follow them on LinkedIn. They have a LinkedIn group. Just search for PIHRA Young Professionals, and they exist to help people who are transitioning from one career to HR, or students who are HR students wanting to get into an HR career. And so they're just a great group. I helped start this group, and that's why I'm really proud of them. We won the SHRM Pinnacle Award for our work in this area in 2015. So really glad that we were able to hand that off to a volunteer group, and they're doing great work on their own. Okay, so this is where you guys wanted me to focus. We provide benefits in 3 major areas. One is networking. I cannot emphasize enough the wonderful community that we have. At PIHRA, this is where you're going to build your HR board of advisors. The relationships, both the friendships, professional relationships, contacts, are priceless. I know some of our members who've met their best friend at PIHRA, so I'm not joking around. I want to tell you this. I am very adverse to going to social events. I just have social anxiety, to be honest. And so I get it, but I have to make a goal for myself to do even virtual networking once a quarter. So I'll go to one of our PIHRA virtual chats, or I'll go to something on LinkedIn. Now LinkedIn has a lot of events, or I'll call one of my former colleagues or supervisors just to check in, because I have to do that because I have anxiety about that. So I want to encourage you, those people particularly who are interested in networking, sign up for the PIHRA chat. There's one going on, I think on the 20th in the morning with PIHRA Los Angeles. It's virtual, so it doesn't matter where you are. And they're a great group. I met one of my good hiking buddies through PIHRA Los Angeles. So that's how you network. People do business with the people they like. So go above and beyond just shaking hands and attending an event. I promise you it will pay off. But for now, set yourself a goal that once a quarter, once this last month, and I set this up for myself, like, what do I really want out of 2021 now that it's almost over? Well, I want to be healthy and I want to stay connected. So register for at least one PIHRA event. One, all of you. I want to see that. Also with PIHRA, another benefits is this is where you're going to get the professional development and the tools to become an expert in your field. Now, we all know that that HR is pretty vast. I mean, you could do HR strategy, you could do HR talent, management and acquisition, you can do compliance, or you're a generalist and you do it all. But I want to encourage you to really focus on that area of HR that you love, 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 and become an expert in that. So that will help you build mastery. And when you want to go on to that next great opportunity, you'll be able to show that mastery. I particularly think that the employment law piece is so sought after, and I'll talk about that when we get to the HR certification piece. But this is where you're going to have the most accessible, affordable, and actionable professional development anywhere. I mean, honestly, we're the most affordable place you're going to get in terms of HR education, really, and for the value, it's stupendous. Now, the PIHRA Workplace is our HR online toolkit. It's recently been rebranded from Think HR to Mineral. On the PIHRA Workplace, it is a separate platform, so it can be tricky to log in, but don't hesitate to email me, or at least we'll get you in. If you call us or email us, email is probably best, at noon, we'll get you in within the hour, particularly if we say emergency, because again, it is a separate platform, but we can make it easy for you as well. On this platform, you'll see the latest in employment laws coming up that you're gonna have to implement by January 1st. You'll have a job description builder. There is an employee handbook builder. I mean, all that would cost you at least $1,500, and you get it for free with the PIHRA membership. So it's a huge, huge value. There's also an enterprise learning management system on there, so you could train your entire workforce on that. It's not free though, but you do get a discounted rate as a PIHRA member. So I'm going to delve in on two aspects of this that I want you to really want to hone in on. But if you have any other questions about the benefits, let me know. And I'll talk about a couple more. So PIHRA Comply, this is on this platform. You would access it through PIHRA.org/workplace. On there, there's employee handbook builder, like I said, but you could also pull hundreds of forms, sample policies, etc. You could spend forever on there. So get to know it on your, when you have a little bit of time, and that way when you need something quick, you can go there. But if you need something quick, you also get PIHRA Live. That's a telephone-based, so all of you get this if you're members. It's a telephone-based HR consultancy. If you need a quick answer, call them. They're open Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific, and all they're going to ask you is your name and or your company name, and they'll give you access. We have people, we have a small number of members calling them a lot. So I want a lot of members calling them every so often, at least, so it's great. Here's the phone number. Try them out. I've called them before. And what's wonderful is they give you sound advice, and then they follow up with an email with any documentation that will be helpful for you. They're not attorneys, so just know they're not attorneys. They don't give legal advice, but they can point you to legal summaries and help you interpret what the law says as much as possible. But you may need corporate counsel for some things. You don't want to risk it. I also want to spotlight this. We work with Into USA. This is a great benefit. They usually work with corporations who are doing RIFs and layoffs and things like that. So it is one of the top /premier work transition tools on the market today. And as a PIHRA member, you get a 6-month license. They have resume workshops on there. They have this great tool where you can video yourself doing responding to interview questions. I love that, because now it's all virtual mostly. You know, we're not going into in-person interviews. You're probably interviewing people. It's all over the phone or virtually. So you want to be careful of your nonverbals and that you're being really concise and answering those questions. So the videotaping is the next best thing to a mirror, right? So a great tool. If you have any questions about that, let me know. Volunteering. I talked about this. If you're interested in volunteering, contact me or Elisette offline. Each of the chapters are the best place to start with volunteering. We are not having the conference volunteer opportunities like before because we are hybrid and we haven't worked out how to be safe doing that, but I'm sure we will by 2023, maybe even 2022. So the best thing is to start at the chapter level, and you can just volunteer to help with the networking event. Like you could greet people, or you could take on an annual volunteer opportunity, but it's a great way to network and for people to get to know you, like I was talking about earlier. All right, learning and networking. So I'm not going to read this slide, but we have a bunch of different professional development opportunities for our members and for our non-members as well. You do not have to become a member to attend this. You would just pay the non-member rate. Members get a minimum of $5 off of the virtual events and at least $15 off of the monthly meetings that our chapters have, but they haven't been having them lately, as I mentioned. And there's also member rates to attend the California HR conference and the California Employment Law conference. Okay, where am I in terms of time? I got a little bit of time. So HR certification. If there are any specific questions that individuals have, please let me know. We do have prep courses, like I was saying. We do not administer the exam, nor do we create the exams, nor do we create the exam materials or the preparation materials. We work with excellent prep instructors. I love Richard Dawson. He was my prep instructor. And it's kind of like when you take the SAT or the ACT, you want to prepare for that. And so we help you prepare for that. It can be a daunting process. So if anyone wants to speak to me about the process, we could set up some time to do that. But I highly recommend becoming certified. There is research out there from SHRM and I think from PayScale as well, that you can increase your earning potential by up to $20,000 per year with a certification. A lot of employers are looking for certification right now. As I said, I did the SHRM SEP. I studied for 150 hours for that because I was not going to fail that exam because you have to pay for it again, and who wants to do that? The next one that I was interested in doing is the PIHRA California. So the PIHRA, SPHR, and PIHRA California, that's all created by the Human Resource Certification Institute. And Elisette, can you put that in the chat? hrci.org, I believe they are. And so the PIHRA California is the California Employment Law exam that they offer. Also, I think that's the next big thing right now. Employers are really needing to stay in compliance with all the laws, especially the COVID regulations. It can cost an organization millions of dollars for their HR person not to master laws and not to be able to have the credibility with them to explain to them the exposure that certain behaviors might be creating. So I would love to do the PIHRA California. I took the prep class and it's hard, especially if you're not practicing HR every day. So, but I think it's the next thing that I would do if I was in that position. So, any questions about certification that's come up?
I don't see any questions. No questions.
Okay.
Yet.
If you do have questions, let me know.
Oh wait, we do have one coming in from.
Would you say the SHRM, CP, SEP, and PIHRA California are the most valuable certs? Sorry, I had to cough. Hi, Brennan. Great to see you. I think in terms of salary increase potential, the SHRM SCP and the SPHR and the PHR California are the most valuable. And the reason is because the SHRM SCP and the SPHR are for senior certified individuals. So they are likely to be HR managers who want to and who have already started participating with the executives of an organization on the strategic planning process. So your salary potential goes up more exponentially. The PHR California, I think, is also valuable because you have that employment law expertise, and you can make the argument that with that mastery, you can mitigate your organization from millions, thousands of legal costs. So that's my answer to that. But speak to a lot of HR certified folks because they may all have a different answer. So let's see, Julieta. Hardest exam ever is a PHR. They are hard exams. They are. How is the prep given, live or recorded? How long does it take to complete it or self-paced? So we do right now virtual HR prep. It could be an intense class, like 3 full days, like over a weekend, or it could be done over 4 weeks or 6 weeks or 8 weeks. It depends. I need a lot of time because you need to read. I had to read everything. And I would go for the longer term, so a 6-week course or longer. And I also did my own study groups, and I'm running out of time here. So it's virtual right now because of the pandemic. We have done it in person, but I don't know when we'll go back to in person. And it's very personal. This exam is a very personal thing because you have to think of your educational background, your work experience, your ability to take tests. I'm a horrible test taker. So I had to consider all that in my preparation and the decision about when I was going to take the exam. So Julieta, get her email address too, because she could, be testimony as to the PHR is even difficult. So yeah. That's that. All right, I'm running out of time here. I told you I'd go late. The California Employment Law Update, this is our flagship event. I really, really believe this, but we're having it hybrid. We're doing it totally virtual, and we're going to be in person. Me and Elisette are going to be in person. If you're interested, there's still spaces left. I think there's only like 25 more spots left to be in person because we are socially distancing. We're going to be in Garden Grove, and there'll be 8 sessions, but there's only 4 time spots. So you'll also be able to get everything on demand afterwards. And the cost right now for members is $149, and then you could add a membership to it for only $100. So it's $249 for the streaming version. Elisa, do you know the in-person version is like, I think $349. That includes a membership. We have Paul Fleck, one of my favorite attorneys there, and we have a lot of great, I think, I always mispronounce his name, Eric DeWams is going to be covering everything about the crazy COVID regulations and how we're kind of, flying, midair with all that. It's like flying on an airplane and trying to figure out how to fly type of thing. So it's going to be a great event. Also, if you're an HR Department of One, we have a streaming series happening on Fridays in November, Fridays, November 5th, 12th, and 19th from 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. And it's $99 for members and $129 for non-members. And you could add a membership if you like. For $125. So not as good of a deal as a conference, but if you need some help and guidance on how to take your organization to the next level and you're all by yourself, this is a series to attend. I talked about our virtual chats. I think there's one coming up on the 20th with PIHRA Los Angeles. I have a list of them here. Remember, sign up for a chat. I know you don't want to go on another Zoom call, but start somewhere and say hello to somebody. Share your LinkedIn, a smile, ask somebody for coffee, virtual coffee. And that's how they're going to get to know you. I promise you, maybe not everyone will take you up on it, but someone will, particularly our volunteer leaders. They're awesome. We have online learning, so a lot of our professional development is on demand. You'll get this slide. This is how you're going to be able to access it. We're at the time, so I'm going to pause for a second. Any questions? Okay, how did the chats work? Okay, how do the chats work? So basically, you register for an event, and sometimes they have a theme, sometimes they're just informal chats. So let me give you this as an example. Let's see. Oh gosh, I didn't put the PIHRA LA one on there. So PIHRA Los Angeles, if you go to PIHRA.org/calendar, you'll see that PIHRA Los Angeles is doing a Zoom chat. You register for it. They have a facilitator talking about workplace ergonomics and how to hold yourself at, which I'm not holding myself very well, at the desk so that you don't suffer for additional fatigue. And they're usually interactive and they're usually like an hour long. And again, it's on Zoom. So that's how that works. And if you have any further questions or I wasn't clear, just let me know. Again, you'll get me my email and Lisette's email in a little bit, but we'll be happy to talk to you more about that. PIHRA South Bay is having in-person networking at the Tin Roof in Manhattan Beach. I think there is a cost because there's going to be appetizers there. We do have a webinar today, Navigating Ethical Issues in HR. It's free for members, so if you sign up right now, you should be able to get on. On the 21st, North OC is having a webinar, mental health and COVID. I want to do that one. That's going to be really interesting. And then on the 26th, PIHRA Burbank Glendale is doing a webinar, the performance agreement, creating a culture of high performing. These webinars, they're small costs. I think it's like $10 for members and a little bit more for non-members. So hopefully that's answers your question. Connect with us. We're totally virtual right now. So you can find us on LinkedIn. You can find me on LinkedIn. If you want someone to go with you to a Zoom chat, I could probably go. Just let me know. That way you don't feel alone. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and we do have a PIHRA forum. I got to be honest, not a lot of people use it, but if you want to put a question on there like, hey, what performance evaluation systems are you using? People may see it and reply. I suggest going to LinkedIn. We have a lot of activity. I think we have over 20,000 members on our followers on our company page, and around 13 to 14,000 on our LinkedIn group page. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Any final questions? Oh, great, you put the LA chapter chat. That's going to be a good one too. So please sign up. They're free for members, I believe. The chats are free, yeah. Just chat people up in the chat box. I know it's not the same as going somewhere, but I like it. I like having wine parties with my friends via Zoom. So thank you for attending. I hope you got what you needed from this. Me or Lisette will send you an email with the deck and with some links so you can do some further research. And always, always feel free to contact us. I'm really good with email, but you can call us as well. You'll get our contact information on the deck. And thank you. Thank you for considering PIHRA. Thank you for being a member. And I wish you the best today and always. Have a good afternoon. Bye, everybody.